Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video we will be giving our thoughts about the second rehearsal of the second semi-final of this year's Eurovision. The first country to get out on the stage was Denmark. So Ryan, what are your thoughts about Denmark?
So once again, these are based on the 30-second TV clips that we saw for the first rehearsal a couple of days ago. And with Denmark, they've chosen the 30 seconds, which doesn't involve their big spinning house prop that they have on the main stage. All we see is towards the end of the performance where Riley has come to the front of the stage onto the B stage and starts interacting with the audience. So I don't think it's a fair representation of what the full performance is going to be like. From what we can see at the moment, it does look a bit empty. The camera angles aren't right. We're seeing the back of him rather than the front of him, or the cameras are way too far panned out rather than focusing in on him. But yeah, I think of all of the clips we've seen, this is one of the least representative based on we don't see any use of the prop, which from the photos looks like will be the main part of the performance.
I think it's a cool performance. He's cute. My only worry is because it's first in a running order, people might forget about his performance, but all the issues that Ryan was talking about, it was only a rehearsal, so they might sort it out for his semi-final.
It's still one of the most modern songs, and
it's very catchy.
I think there is going to be a fan base that will vote for it. So at the moment, I'm leaning towards this going through to the final just.
Next up is Armenia.
So it's definitely one of the most eye-catching rehearsals we've seen so far. She has this platform on stage which they're projecting very bright lights onto, and they use lots of close-up camera angles, so even though the platform is just a small part of the stage, it completely fills the camera. And a good comparison, I think, would be to Bulgaria 2021, where she was on that rock-style platform and they used lots of close-up shots so it looked like the rock was the only thing in the arena. So I think that's what they could be aiming for. I'm still a bit unsure of their chances when it comes to qualification. I know it's a big fan favourite, but the early running order and the unique structure of the song, I'm not sure will immediately appeal to voters.
I think she's been doing a great job. Her voice really shines through her performance. I'm just a little bit worried because I feel her performance a little bit static, but with that close shot, it might work. It will be very important. We don't want to see mistakes. We don't want to see wide shots. From the 30 seconds of the clip, they worked very well, so I feel like she will not struggle to qualify for the grand final. Great voice, great staging, so the projections are very effective. I can see good things happen to Armenian at this year's Eurovision. So the next country that we're going to talk about is Romania. So in my opinion, is the weakest staging. I don't really understand what he's trying to do. Vocally is alright. I'm not a big fan of the song, so I think as well it helps me to have this bad feeling about the staging, but I don't have much to say about his performance.
I'm glad they've completely revamped the national final performance, and it's definitely an improvement on that, but from the reports we see that the Romanian broadcaster isn't putting any budget into this, I think it definitely shows. And for this to have stood a chance of qualifying, it needed amazing staging, and I don't think it's got it,
to elevate this song, yeah. So the next country is Estonia. Estonia, I really like her voice. I do quite like the song as well. After listening so many times, I said at my previous videos, I got a little bit bored of the song, but her vocals are spot on. I really like the LEDs, They really upgrade the performance from her national selection. I like the fact they kept the piano on the stage. There's something there that for me says that she will miss out the grand final. I feel like she's too early in this running order. I presume probably if she swapped with Lithuania, we wouldn't be talking about these doubts about her qualification, but right now, I'm not sure if she's qualifying or not. She does a great job.
So from the video clip, I don't think we actually see the piano because we just see towards the end of the song. I presume the piano maybe is on the B stage and that's where she begins the performance. But I agree that comparing this to Lithuania, it's just not as warm, it's not as votable. And obviously Lithuania also has the running order advantage as well. And
I do feel her performance as well a little bit cold, so she needs to be able to give us something, and sometimes a little bit robotic. So I'm not keen on that, but it will be great to see Estonia in the grand final. Don't get me wrong.
So next up we have Belgium, who have taken their national final staging. They've added an extra dancer, they've made the prop on stage a bit bigger, and they still have the music video on the LED screens in the background as well. And I think after the run of Armenia, Romania, Estonia, which are all mid to slow tempo
Really
songs,
stands out.
yeah, and I agree with the consensus that this is looking like a qualifier now.
Yeah, it does give us that fresh vibe. Like after those songs, we got Belgium like with all this energy, and is very charismatic as well. He's likable. The dancer will really give what Eurofers wants. In my opinion, my personal opinion, I wouldn't put that dancer. I don't think they need that dancer on the stage, but I do understand why as well. It's gonna be definitely an anthem for the Eurovision of this year, a Belgian song.
I think the dance adds an extra dimension because you've got Gustav and his backing singers, and obviously because they're singing, they're going to be a bit more static. So having someone purely dancing on stage adds that energy to the performance without sacrificing the vocals if Gustav or his backing singers were doing it instead.
Next up is Cyprus. I really enjoy the LEDs, they are very effective. I like the looks like a waterfall behind him. I'm not really keen on the wide shots. I don't think they have been giving very good angles of this performance. I do feel as well that some dancers on a stage with him would elevate his song. I really like the song. It sounded great to me, so I was a little bit worried about his vocals as well. So overall, it's a strong rehearsal.
I think my biggest concern with this one was, after watching his performance in Australia Decides last year, was that the vocals could have been a bit iffy. But from what we've seen in this rehearsal, he's got one of the strongest vocals of the whole competition. And this would do amazing with juries. And because I think he will get to the final, I think it's going to do very well in the final thanks to the juries. Even though he's on stage on his own, I think he commands the stage. I agree some closer up shots would benefit it, but I can see that they want to take in all of the LED screens which have the waterfall, and then it changes to the fire, and it's trying to create that massive effect. So yeah, I think Cyprus have done a good job once again.
So the next song is Iceland. The song is alright. I do feel like they could have done a better job with the staging. Looks very empty, very bland. She got that harsh face, that female angry singer that normally at Eurovision doesn't do very well. I'm not sure if she's gonna come across votable, so I'm a little bit concerned about Iceland.
I don't think she comes across angry, but you can see she's very energetic, and that's because we all know how much she loves Eurovision and has wanted to do this. So you can tell she's happy to be on the stage. they have just taken the national final performance and put it on the B stage of this stage.
But it does look very, very empty.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't fill it. And in previous videos, I've compared it to Iceland 2017, I think it was, with Svala, and I think they have fallen into that same trap again.
So the next country is Greece. Unfortunately, I'm not happy with his rehearsal. It didn't sound well. The staging, I'm not really keen as well. Feel like they could have done something different. Something wasn't right today, probably with his voice. The smoke, at some point we couldn't almost even see the singer. I'm not sure if this performance is very likable. I think Greece, it might be out of the grand final.
I disagree. I think the staging is really good. I think the smoke gives it a really good effect at the end, and they're one of the only countries I've seen use these light rigs that come down from the ceiling and add that extra effect onto him on the B stage. The vocals were a little bit off in this final chorus, and I think that needs to be improved on. But
I'm very nervous as well.
I read he's one of the only 2 artists that have wrote the song completely on their own, and I think that will give him an extra connection and an extra emotion when performing the song. I wouldn't rule this out. I think it could still qualify with a bit of tidying up.
Still got time to improve, and I do like this song, and it was in my top 10 of the semifinals, so fingers crossed for Greece. So the next one is
Poland, and this is one of my favourite rehearsals from this semi-final. Straight away she's got the pyro going into the chorus, and her vocals sound great, there's no problem with them. She commands the camera, and then towards the end of the clip we see the dance break beginning, which isn't just her, because I think the photos were concerned would she look a bit lonely, but as Poland did last year, they've used loads of video on-screen effects which reflect her all over the screen. And yeah, I think this could work, and I definitely think it's qualifying, and I have done since it's been selected.
She couldn't do better job. So we've got everything. We've got pyros, we got the dance break, dress revealing. She got her own routine. So I feel like Poland were, at the beginning, there was so much hate about her. So now is the time to all of these haters swallowing all the poison they were giving to her. She just proved that she's a great singer and a great performer. She definitely deserves to be at the grand final, and I'm very happy that she finally had the time to show her work, and she has put in so much effort in this performance that no one can say anything bad about her. And for those people who are saying that TVP should keep the money for next year, they should swallow it as well, because they were the ones who should be out, not her. So the next one
is Slovenia, and they've done exactly what I think we all wanted them to do, which was take their EMA live performance, which we all thought was fantastic, they put it onto the B stage, so when the audience is in the arena, it will go behind them to create the same effects that they had at EMA. They interact with the camera, nice camera shots. It looks modern, it looks cool, and it's an easy qualifier.
It's really nice to see their brotherhood. We can see on their performance that every single one of them has their time to shine. So it's definitely a qualifier, and we will have finally Slovenia again at the grand final. Very happy for them.
So after Slovenia, we moved on to Georgia. And I think this was one of the most visually impressive performances. She's used 2 of the LED screens that have come forward on the stage to surround her, and I think I've only seen one other country do it already, and I can't remember who it was. But it looks very effective. It frames her into her massive dress, and
their vocals.
I'm surprised that they have put her on stage on her own, because obviously the video contains lots of dancers, but she definitely fills the stage.
Yeah, she managed.
Vocals
to
are perfect. I was a little bit worried for this one, but from what I've seen, I think it is going to be a qualifier.
Yeah, even we've got the wind machine there all over the performance. She will definitely qualify. Quality is there, vocals are there, staging is one of the best stagings of the semi-final. So for sure she will have her place at the grand final.
Now, while Eru is on her own, San Marino obviously have a band of 4, I believe, but it looks so much emptier than Georgia's performance. The band members are all on the main stage and the lead singer is on the B stage, but it just looks disconnected. He sings very well, but
they try their best. Without money they can't do much. So unfortunately some countries, they don't have the same budget as the other ones.
But I don't think Slovenia looks like it has a big budget. They're just all together on the B stage. There's no fancy effects or anything, but theirs is so much more effective.
And loads of wide shots as well, like the Submarine's performance. They probably should be closer like the Slovenians are, and maybe they would help them. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, Slovenia's song is stronger and more appealing than San Marino. So it's not just about the staging, the song is important as well.
Now we move on to Austria, which I think was perhaps one of the most disappointing of the clips, but I think that could also be because the clip they've chosen is at the ending and we don't see any of the dance moves that we've been promised that are going to be in this performance. I think I like the use. It looks modern, it looks cool. The LEDs, I think it could look good if they were a bit clearer. Into what we saw, there was so many of the red dancers on the screen, you couldn't really get the effect.
Yeah.
But from the pictures, it looks like at some parts of the performance it will just be a couple of larger size dancers. So
I'm really looking forward to see all this performance, because I was very, I would say, disappointed for what I've seen. I'm keeping the positive vibes around this performance. Austria has been having great songs. The stagings, they haven't been the best. I feel like this year they may put some people crying. So I hope they have done a great job.
Now, if we move on to Albania, since for the past couple of months I've been saying this is a qualifier, and after seeing this rehearsal, I'm even more sure now. Once again, you can immediately tell it's a staging from Sasha Jean-Baptiste's group. I know this isn't Sasha herself, but it's from one of her co-workers, and they've got pyro. It looks... The staging was always going to be make or break for this, and the way it comes across on camera looks good. They do focus on Albina. She has a different costume slightly to the rest of her family, and by having that focal point means it's easy to connect with her. It is one of the only ethnic songs. She has amazing vocals, and it's definitely going to find its audience.
So when we were watching the clips, I straight away said to Ryan, she will qualify. Before seeing this clip, I was always saying they will not qualify. So now, hands down, I must say, Albania will definitely be at the grand final. Amazing staging.
Even in this clip, we don't see the photo of where her and her family have the red napkins in their hands during the dance break, which I know lots of people were quite excited for once they saw the photos. So I think there's even more room for this performance to grow when we see the full thing.
It's very nice to see this performance. So the song is good as well, and they kept the red and black color on their staging. So they've got their own mark at Eurovision, and they kept what is really cool. So
my fear was that Austria and Albania both have red and black themed performances, and I thought Austria was going to be the stronger of the two, but at this stage I think Albania's looks better.
Looks stronger, but we have to see the full performance. So the next one is
Lithuania, and I think were they all on the B stage as well? I think
Yeah, I think so,
her
yeah.
4 backing singers. Yeah, it immediately looks very warm, very inviting. It's very anthemic, and it's much more votable than Estonia.
I agree with that too.
And with the lack of ballads / mid tempos, especially in the second half, then yeah, I think it's a certain qualifier.
Yeah, it's a pleasant performance. She as well sings very well, very likable. The orange is definitely her color. I think everything works very well with this song. Staging, vocals, so very appealing. I feel like she will be at the grand final as well.
So finally we move on to Australia, and it's a great way to end the final. There's a car on stage, lots of fast camera angles. It looks really good. If this wasn't on last, I'd be more worried for it, because I think it's weaker than Slovenia.
They are different styles.
That's true, but they're both bands. And especially when you bring in, once they get to the final, once you bring in the bands from the first semi-final, then I think it's going to lose out in the final. But for what it is, last on, good ending, and it's a definite qualifier.
Definitely an excellent performance. I don't get why they've got the car on the stage. I don't see the point. But pyros, energy, perfect song to end the show. They deserve to be at the grand final, and Australia has been giving us every single year quality, so no doubt they will be at this year's grand final again. Very pleased for them. Really enjoy to watch their 30 seconds.
So that's all of the performances. The acts I'm most looking forward to seeing their full performance will probably be Armenia, because it definitely looks a bit different. I'm looking forward to seeing Austria, to see how they include the dance moves, and also Albania to see how they do stage the dance breakdown. Not really a dance breakdown, but you know which bit I mean.
I want to see the Polish performance in full.
Yeah.
Definitely that one first. Austria, I want to see as well. I don't want to be disappointed. I still believe they can do very well at this Eurovision. They need to pull it out, because if not, it's going to be a massive disappointment for loads of people. They singing well, but the staging, I don't think they show us everything. And the other one, I would say probably maybe Cyprus. Cyprus is definitely the one of my favorite songs of this year.
I think we're expecting Pyro for Cyprus as well, if I remember reading the live blog correctly, and we haven't seen that, so it'll be interesting to see how that's incorporated. But tomorrow we will move on to the 30-second clips from the Big Five and Ukraine. And from the photos, I think we all agree this is looking like the strongest Big Five plus the winner package that we've had for many years, if ever. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing those.
So guys, this is our thoughts about the second rehearsal of the second semi-final. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next video.